Hi, welcome to RG Lecture. So this channel is dedicated to the students of physics, and this particular playlist of AC circuit contains all the videos which are a part of syllabus of graduation level physics. It can be BSc Physics, Physics Honors, Electronics, Electrical Engineering and many such courses. So consider sharing these playlists and videos into your college and class groups. Also join my Telegram group, link is given in the description. Hi, in this video we will study LCR circuit and 10 topics related to LCR circuit: series, parallel. This whole slide consists of nearly 50 plus, this whole PPT consists of nearly 50 plus sites, and this involves rigorous mathematics, rigorous concepts, rigorous topics, rigorous realization. So you cannot watch this video in some random mood, in some not dedicated mood. Okay, so I hope this was just series and from here parallel starts. So this was just a disclaimer that please watch this video in the separate mood, in a mentally sorted mood and in a not distracted manner. Okay, so keep all the notifications aside, all the apps closed, and let's start with the concept of LCR circuit along with the experimental approach. So let's start with LCR circuit. Since this is a long lecture, I will be assisting you by giving you small breaks in between of this video. In the previous video, we saw the LR circuit, we saw how we do the circuit experimentally, what is the result of the experiment, what is the result in the physics perspective, why do we see or why do we study CR circuit or LR circuit, right? The conclusion of both these topics was just the phasor diagrams which we get from them. Now in this video we will study the concept of LCR circuit. That means inductor, capacitor, resistor will be connected in a single circuit. Now we can connect these things in two ways. One way can be in the series mode, just like this, and the other way can be in the parallel mode. So there is a separate topic which is LCR series circuit. There is a topic called as LCR parallel. Okay, now every topic, now let me introduce first of all. LCR circuit has three cases, out of which the third case is resonance condition. Okay, so that resonance is only important in BSc. Okay, there are three cases, out of which third case is resonance condition. So resonance condition in series connection and resonance condition in parallel is only important, and those first two conditions are not at all important. Okay, those two conditions are not at all important. Okay, so let's start. So suppose this is my circuit, so let this be my current. Again, you can supply any voltage and find the value of current. Start with current, end with voltage. This is my current in terms of complex numbers, and let us try to calculate the voltages across the circuit. So across the resistor, this will be my voltage, famous value as done in last video. Across the inductor, this is my voltage as done in the last video. Across the capacitor, this is my voltage as done in the last video. What does this J indicates? J indicates that the voltage leads the current by 90 degree. That is J. What does minus J indicates? Minus J indicates negative side. So current lags by 90 or voltage lags by 90. Current leads here. Okay. So these three equations we discussed in detail in the LRCR experiment, and this is the conclusion of that video. I have told in that also, I am telling here also. Let us now try to calculate the resultant voltage. Right, we can do this in terms of phasors and complex numbers. In class 12th we did not use complex numbers or phasors, so this was not permitted, but now we can add directly. Okay, so let us add all the three directly. So simply I can take out the current factor common from them. Of course in series you know the current is same, right? In series connection current is same, so I can take out the current as common, and this is my value of impedance. What is impedance? Impedance is the resultant of resistance and reactance. Resistance is the opposition offered to the circuit. Reactance is also offered to the circuit, but it is reactive. Okay, it will change if I make some changes in the circuit. Whereas if you take a resistance of 100 ohms, it will be of 100 ohms whatever change you make in the circuit. Again, this is explained in the separate video. Okay, so this is the final value of impedance, and if you want to calculate the magnitude, everything will square as it is a vector. Okay, and in magnitudes the j's does not come because we just consider the real part only. Okay, so this is fine till here. If I want to calculate the phase angle, this is the phase angle. Okay, how this expression comes? So this is my inductance XL, this is my capacitance XC, this is my resistance R. Okay, so probably I can take this. There is a one case number 1 expresses that XL is greater than XC. So basically this vector what will be, it will be XL minus XC, and this will be R. So if I drag this vector, so this will be my XL minus XC, so this will be my impedance Z. So Z is equals to the R ka square plus XL minus XC square. What is XL? It is omega L. What is XC? It is 1 upon omega C. So that is just expressed here, and that's it. This is the reactance of the circuit. Okay, so 3 cases. In case number 1, my XL can be greater than XC. Okay, so if this happens, then what will happen? My phasor will be in upward direction, right? This is my XL, this is my XC. So if this is phi, this is 3, so where will resultant go? Resultant will go upward. So this will be my resultant in upward direction. Resistance R is always in this direction, so my phasor will be somewhat here, phi will be positive, so V will lead by I by 90 degree. My circuit will be the inductive circuit. Basically, when the XL will be greater than XC, my circuit will be equivalent to what we did in the LR circuit. Okay, so this is the thing. Case number 1 ends here. No derivation, nothing. Okay, derivation was there in class 12. There is no derivation in BSc or engineering. Talking if XC becomes greater than XL, so suppose XL is equals to the 3 ohms, XC is 5 ohms, so where will be the resultant? Resultant will be in the negative y-axis. Okay, so this is my XC minus XL, this is my R, so impedance will be here, this phi will be negative, so negative phi indicates that I leads V by 90. Now this is what we did in the video of CR circuit. Okay, CR circuit. So I will lead, but not by 90 degree, but by phi angle, and this circuit is called as capacitive circuit or CR circuit. Okay, so case number 2 of LCR circuit is a CR circuit. Case number 1 of LCR circuit is a LR circuit. Now let us start discussing about the main case, which is resonance. What happens at resonance? My omega L becomes equal to XC. That is, my XL becomes equal to XC. What is XL? It is omega L. What is XC? It is 1 upon omega C. Both of these two becomes equal. Now if this is vector 3 in north, this is vector 3 in south, resultant is nothing. So basically what I get is just the phasor in the representing the resistor. So in this condition what I get is a purely resistive circuit. No doubt the elements are there. XL is there, XC is there, but they are same, so they cancel out each other in magnitude. So phase difference here is 0. If the voltage is in this direction, resultant voltage, the resultant current will also be in the same direction. But of course it is not as simple as that, because still the elements XL and XC are connected, LN and C are still connected, and this is my phase angle, not so important. And this condition is called as series resonance. This condition is called as series resonance. What will be the phasor? This will be the phasor. Now what's so special about resonance? Like why I am focusing so much, why universities are focusing so much? At resonance, the current becomes maximum. At resonance, the current becomes maximum. Okay, so in these circuits, the thing which we connect is my frequency generator. Okay, the thing which we connect here is called as frequency generator. In this video I will cover it later on. So as we increase the frequency, current is increasing, as I am increase the frequency, current increases. But suddenly, suppose my 50 is the resonant frequency, at 50 the current will become maximum. Okay, the current will suddenly become maximum, and that condition is called as resonance. That condition is called as resonance. So basically when XL becomes equal to XC, resonance is said to have occurred. Okay, So this is the value of impedance. What is impedance? It is the opposition offered. Okay, and if these two terms are equal, so this becomes 0. So at resonance condition, Z will become what? Maximum or minimum? Pause the video and think. Z will become what? Maximum or minimum? So answer is it will become minimum, because nothing will add here. Suppose R is 10, so impedance will also be 10. Earlier it was supposed to be added. So if Z is minimum, what is Z? Opposition. If opposition in the circuit is minimum, what will be I? I will become maximum. So here is I0 is equals to the V0 by Z. I0 is equals to the V0 by Z. If Z is minimum, I is maximum. You have to write these things in theory, right? Whatever I am saying from my mouth is supposed to be written in the theory. What will be the graph? So impedance will be minimum at particular frequency. Suppose resonance occurs at this frequency, and at the same frequency current becomes maximum. So these graphs are at the special graphs or the resonance, impedance versus frequency and current versus frequency for LCR series resonance. You can see the current suddenly becomes maximum at resonance, and the opposition offered suddenly becomes the minimum. Ideally it is supposed to be 0, but of course resistance cannot vanish. So what is the resonance frequency? So XL becomes XC. This is the resonant condition. XL is 1 upon omega L. It is 1 upon omega C. So I will get omega square is equals to the 1 upon LC. So omega is root of 1 upon LC. Basically omega is 1 upon root of LC. This is the resonance frequency. So suppose I am in the laboratory and I want to calculate the resonant frequency of my circuit. So I will choose a capacitor of particular value. I will see the value of the inductor and I can find at which frequency my resonance will happen. That means my current will become maximum. So this is the famous formula. Omega itself is equals to be 2 pi f. So I can write this as f is equals to the 1 upon 2 pi root of LC. This is used in the laboratory. This I will show in the later part also. So this is the concept of resonance. Now bandwidth. Now if in this circuit I have a frequency generator, so I am increasing the frequency and I am getting the values of current. This is an experiment of SYBAC. I have done it. I will show the readings in the part again in the video further on. Okay, so as soon as I increase the frequency, current is increasing, and at particular point current will become maximum. So that particular frequency is called as resonant frequency. That current is called as peak current. But if I consider this point, at this point also the current is very good, right? It is good current. It can be used in the circuits. At this point also the current is in good range. It is a somewhat maximum. So basically what we do, we plot the RMS value in the graph. Now what is RMS value? IRMS value is basically what? IRMS value is equals to the peak value upon root 2. And what is 1 upon root 2? It is 0.707 times of peak value. Basically if I calculate the percentage, it is 70.7% of I0. If my current is 100 amps, so my IRMS will be 70 amps. 70 amps is also good. So basically we plot the values of IRMS in the curve in this region of frequencies ranging from IRMS 1 to IRMS 2, and the peak current is called as bandwidth. This is called as bandwidth because at these frequencies starting from F1 to F2 I get a good amount of current, and the frequency F1 is called as lower cutoff frequency, and the frequency at F2 is called as higher cutoff frequency. Okay, so this region is useful in the laboratory. In the FMs, this region is only used. I will explain this in few minutes. Okay, so this is called as bandwidth, delta F. So why we take IRMS? So first reason was this, that it is a peak value, it is the 70th percentage of the peak value. Second reason is at these frequencies, at this current, the power becomes half of the original value. Okay, so also these frequencies are called as half power frequencies. You can simply just take the values of power, substitute the value of RMS value, and you will find that the original power is reduced by half. Okay, so these frequencies are also called as half power frequencies. So there are two reasons to consider RMS value. the current and the power. This circuit is called as acceptor circuit because it accepts the frequency from range F1 to range F2. Now suppose you are tuning a FM. This circuit is used in FM. Okay, you are tuning, we have a knob. By that knob we moderately change the frequency. So we are changing the frequency, and suddenly we hear the noise and we say this is the correct frequency. So what happens? At that particular frequency, resonance happen and the current is maximum. When that current become maximum, we can hear the songs. Okay, so this is called as radio tuning. There is a bandwidth. You can see, if suppose you plot the frequency in this region, you take the knob in this region, so voice will be there, but it will be less. You reduce the frequency and let the knob at this, so again voice will be there, but there will be distraction, distortions. But as soon as you increase, you get this particular frequency, you will hear the sound correctly. So in all the radio tunings or circuits or all the FMs, LCR series resonance is used, and those frequencies are calculated by the same formula only. Okay, so this was the use of LCR circuit. Now in BSc there is an expression for bandwidth. Okay, there is an expression for bandwidth. There is a long tedious derivation. Now let's start with it. Okay, so what is the aim? Aim is to calculate delta omega is equals to the R by L. If this is not a part of your syllabus, simply skip it. It is just mathematics, no physics behind it. Okay, first part of our lecture is completed, so drink some water and then come back to watch the second part. So expression for bandwidth. So at resonant frequency, I know V is equals to the IR. Why I have written the resonant frequency? Because I am considering the peak values V0, I0. Also, generally speaking, V0 is I0Z, right? The resultant impedance. So let's substitute the value of current here, and let us substitute the value of impedance here. Okay, so substituting these values, I will get the I0 term here, V is equals to the I0R from here, and here I will get the I0 by root 2. Okay, here I have did some mistake. Here it will be I0. Okay, not I0 by Z. Here will be I0. So I0 will get cancelled. Okay, I will sort out this thing later on. If there is some correction, I will tell you. But let's proceed ahead. It will be a minor correction, not a major one, if it is there. Okay, and this is the value of Z impedance. So let us take this in this form, 1 upon 2. So let's square all of these stuff. So this root will vanish, and here it will be R square, and again this root will vanish because everything here is in the form of roots. This is in the form of roots, this is in the form of roots. So let's remove the roots. So basically I will get this clear cut expression, 2R square is equals to this quantity, and let's take this in this mode. So I will get this omega L minus 1, again taking the square root, so this square will vanish and I will get this. Plus and minus sign corresponds to two cutoff frequencies in this mode and this mode. This is minus, this is plus, because these are indicated by directions. Okay, so let us write these equations separately. Okay, so let omega 2 be the equation on the right hand side, represented by plus R, and this be represented by minus R. So let us add these two equations. If I add these two equations, I will reach to a result. Okay, now then we have to subtract those two equations. So let us add two equations. So if I add two equations, I can see L is common here, so I will get this. Here minus 1 by C is common, so I will get this, and then simply multiply this term by this. You can find this easily, take this step. Let's multiply this term by this, and you will find again omega t minus, let me write omega t plus omega 1 times of L you will get, and you will get minus omega t plus omega 1 upon C times of omega 1 omega. You will get this if you multiply this term with this. Okay, this bracket. So you can just simply carry out omega t plus 1 common from both. That is what I have done here, and you will get this. Of course, one of these two have to be 0 now, right? But this cannot be 0 obviously, because addition of two frequencies can never be 0. Frequency is never negative, so this has to be 0. Okay, so that is what I have wrote here. So this has to be 0. So if this is 0, so let us take this in this direction. So it will be L is equals to this term, and simply I can take them there, and this is my term. If I assume omega 0 is omega 1 omega. So this was the case I derived previously also, right? Omega is equals to the 1 upon root LC, and again we are getting the same result, but with a assumption that this term is true. Fine. Let us now subtract both these equations, so we will get something like this. Okay, plus r minus r, so here signs will change, this will become minus, this will become plus, this will become plus, so plus r, and these things again we can do. Now this time I can substitute the things here. What is omega t minus omega 2? This is 2 pi f2 minus 2 pi f1, 2 pi common, and there is delta f, and this bracket goes same. This I can write it as L because I got this term in the previous slide. 1 upon omega t omega 2 is equals to the LC, right? This expression I am using there. Okay, so I can write it as L. So basically what I will get is 2 pi delta f, 2 pi delta f, 2L is equals to the 2R, cancelling 2, I will get delta f is equals to the 1 upon 2 pi R by L. This is the general equation I will get, and let's see, focus on this. So this is the derivation, 1 upon 2 pi FL, or if I multiply this again I will get delta omega. So this is the proof of the expression delta omega is R by L, or delta f is equals to this. If this was a part of a derivation of your university exam, it is important. Just note these steps. I hope you understood the mathematics. There is no physics to explain, that is why I am just slowly explaining the mathematics. Let's talk about sharpness of the curve. Here I have drawn various curves of series resonance case with suitable sharpnesses. Okay, so what you can see, which curve is better? So of course, first of all, think which curve is better. So the curve red one is the most better, because in this case the frequencies are of wider range. Now imagine a radio with so much wide frequencies. Imagine you have to just keep changing the knob to just tune to one station. It is not good, but here there it is good. If you just change the knob, there is the particular frequency, but here there is a good big range, so definitely noise will be there, distortion will be there. So ideally, what should be the bandwidth? Bandwidth should be more or bandwidth should be less? This is my question. So in this case bandwidth is the least, so of course the bandwidth should be less, delta f. And how this sharpness decreases? So by increasing the resistance we can decrease the sharpness of the curves. Also voltage magnifications happens at resonance. At resonance, circuit behaves like a resistive circuit. Applied voltage appears effectively across R because there is no L and C, they both cancel out. It does not mean that potential difference across this is zero. No, in fact they are in equal magnitude but in opposite phase. The phasors are in equal magnitude and in opposite phase. Okay, so you can see this also mathematically. Take the voltage across L, take the voltage across C, add them, you will get this as 0 because this is 0 in resonance. Okay, so if this is 0, so I can shift this to the right hand side, and this is the mathematical proof. Again, a small 1 or 2 mark question can be asked in exams, like write about voltage magnification, prove that they are in the opposite phase, right? So this is the thing. And finally, talking about Q factor. Q factor is in both in series resonance as well as in the parallel resonance. So Q factor is defined. This is not the good way to express Q factor, okay, because this is there I am explaining, but there is a second way also which I will explain here. Okay, so what is Q factor? Let me explain first that. What is Q factor? Q factor just tells me about the quality. Okay, how can I tell the quality? I can simply tell the quality by the resonance curve, right, by the sharpness of the resonance. So what should be the condition? My frequency should be less, my bandwidth should be less, not frequency. So basically Q factor is equals to the resonant frequency upon bandwidth. So bandwidth is less, quality is more, simple. So basically this is the thing about Q factor which I like the most. This is the way you can feel the Q factor. Q factor is defined as the resonant frequency divided by bandwidth. If bandwidth is less, quality will be more. If resonant frequency is more, quality will be more. Okay, how to derive Q factor? Delta omega is this, delta omega is also this. So just Q is equals to the, okay, this is derived from some, okay, this is one definition. This is one definition. Directly you can write, directly in exam you can write Q factor is defined as the ratio of resonant frequency upon the bandwidth. Okay, you can derive by the way of sharpness, you can define by the way of sharpness, or this is the second way. Q factor is also defined as potential difference across inductor or capacitor upon the applied EMF. Okay, so let us take the potential difference across inductor and let us take the applied EMF. So most of the terms will get cancelled and we will get this. So this is also the Q factor. So basically you can derive the Q factor by the means of voltage, by using the definition of voltage, or you can use the definition of frequency. So I prefer this because this actually gives us the feel. If bandwidth is less, quality will be more, right? But it is also fine, you can derive this way. So finally what we got in Q factor, omega 0 L by R, which means inductive reactance at resonance, which is XL, okay, upon R. So basically this is the Q factor in terms of resistance. So you can see Q factor is defined in terms of voltage. It automatically gives us the in terms of resistance or reactance, and there is a way to explain in the terms of frequency. Q factor can be greater than 1, which means voltage can be magnified at resonance. That is, voltage can be increased. That is, output voltage will be greater than the input voltage. Then there is a term called as phase angle versus frequency. So this is the phase angle. Now there is a relation between omega L and omega C. Okay, so what is this? Suppose if I increase the omega, what will happen? See, my omega L term will also increase because it is in the numerator. But if you look closely, my omega C term will decrease. That is, my XL will increase if I increase the omega, but my XC will decrease, right? Because it is in the denominator. So basically, if I increase my frequency, XL will increase, and at the same time XC will decrease. So there will be a particular point where both become same, and that is resonance. So here let us consider omega to be very, very small. First case, let us consider our omega is very small. If omega is very small, this term will literally vanish, because small term multiplied by L will become vanish. So basically this term will only dominate 1 upon omega C. So if 1 upon omega C is there, so my circuit will become a capacitive circuit, it will become a LC circuit, what we studied in the case number 2. So my phase angle versus frequency will be like this. Okay, phase angle versus frequency will be like this. XC will be dominating. If omega is less, this is XC, this will be dominating, and this is 0. If I increase the omega slowly, XL will increase, and at particular frequency they will become omega 0. So they will both become 0. So this is that case. And after that, when I further increase the value of omega, then XL will dominate, because XL is ultimately equal to omega L. So this is that case. So that is the graph of phase angle versus frequency. In this way, we have completed the concept of LCR series resonance. It involved rigorous mathematics. Do watch the video twice, okay, because still we have to start with LCR parallel resonance, complete LCR series resonance, make your notes, and then start watching parallel resonance. So this is how we have completed the second part of this lecture. Go and wash your face and then start with the parallel resonance. So let's start with parallel resonance now. So there is an experiment which I will explain you later on when you understand the parallel resonance, because that experiment is of parallel resonance only. So in parallel resonance, basically C and L are connected parallel to each other. Now in few books, R is not only connected. In few books, R is connected in this way. In few books, R is connected across inductor, and capacitance is connected this way, okay, and this way there is circuit, okay. The reason why R is not connected, or it is connected in series, some student will say, sir, you can also connect C in series with R, but you cannot. Why? Because what is L? L is just a series of wire. It has some internal resistance. I showed this experimentally in the LRCR circuit video. So mostly in few books, R is not only considered, because eventually L has some internal resistance R, or L is connected in series with R. Okay, one of the both condition you will find in. This is the general, you cannot find in any book, or you may find it is up to the that book, but these are the cases that are possible. C will never be connected with R, L will be connected with R, or R will be connected in common. Now in parallel, current is different and voltage is same. Okay, so now things will turn different. Okay, so now voltage will be applied. Okay, so this is my voltage and current will be different. Now suppose this is my 10 ampere current. So suppose here the 5 ampere current will go, here 5 ampere current will go, here 4 will go, here 6 will go. So basically current will be divided. So this is IL phasor, this is phasor of IC. Now let's add the current, because we cannot add the voltage now, because voltage is same. In series we were adding the voltage, right? So I star is equals to the IL star plus IC star. We know that I star is equals to the this, as done in the previous videos. We know IC is this. Let us take out the voltage common, because voltage is same. In LCR series resonance, current was same, so I star was common. I hope you remember. So we get this quantity, and this quantity is equals to the 1 upon Z, right? Because V is equals to the IZ. So if I have I is equals to the V, so definitely if I go take Z there, so that will become this. So this will 1 upon Z is equals to the this quantity. And what is admittance? Admittance is the reciprocal of impedance. Impedance means offering opposition. Admittance means admitting the current and voltage, supporting the current and voltage. So here we will find the concept of admittance. Most of the books mention them. If you do not have this, just forward this video for a few seconds. Okay, there are just 2 slides. So this is my 1 upon Z here, 1 upon R plus j omega L j omega C. I have wrote at this. So multiplying this by the conjugate, because I do not want j in denominator. This is the reason. You can write in your textbook or wherever you want. I don't want j in denominator. So multiplying by conjugate. Conjugate simply means opposite sign. If plus j is there, multiply by minus j. So that's it. I will get till there. Till here everything is simple. Multiply each term by this, you will get this equation. Okay, nothing to explain. These are just mathematical steps. Let's proceed ahead. Take out j common, everything is same. Now this has 2 parts. There is a real part, which is R, and then this whole part is an imaginary part. You can see everything connected with j is imaginary. Okay, so this whole is imaginary part, and V and I will be in phase, because it is a resonance condition, only if Z and hence Y are real. I cannot consider imaginary part. So let us make imaginary part as 0. So that term will become 0. Now there are terms of cube. I do not want cube in my circuits. We usually deal with squares only. So let us divide by omega 0. And I will get this. Let's resubstitute. I will get this. And finally from here I can find the value of, just resubstitute. This is the same step as previous. Take them in the denominator, divide both the sides by L square C, L square C, L square C. What I will get is this, and finally I get this expression. So what I got in series circuit as omega is equals to the 1 upon root of LC. Here I am getting that as 1 upon LC minus R square by R square. So this is the change you must remember. Don't get driven by the mathematics. Remember the change which you are getting. So this is the change which we got here. Okay, this is the change. This was the case of series. This is the case of parallel. This is the case of parallel. Okay, so we can see at resonance Y becomes minimum. What is Y? Y is this quantity. So at resonance this whole bracket becomes 0. So of course nothing is getting added. So Y becomes 0. If Y is minimum, Z will be maximum, because it is its reciprocal. If the opposition is maximum, the current will be minimum. So in this resonance, parallel resonance, at a particular frequency the current becomes minimum. You are changing the knob at a particular frequency, the current becomes minimum. Talking about the impedance Z, this is the value of impedance from the previous value, and let us substitute the value of omega 0 here. So omega 0 square will be vanish the root, and this you will get here. I have written everything step by step. Just follow these steps and then just multiply 1 upon this bracket. So you will get L square and L cancel here. There will be L by C. Okay, this is term is represented there, and L square will get cancelled. Here it is R square. So basically you will get the value of impedance as L by CR. Now this is completely new thing. Okay, so this is the thing you must remember. Students just solve mathematics and when they reach to a result, they just forget everything. These things are to be remembered. So what is difference between real omega and theoretical omega? Usually we take resistance as small. If resistance is small, this term will be small. Okay, and suppose 1 upon LC is equals to the 1000. So this whole bracket will give me just 2 or 3. So that will approximately be equal to the 998. So basically for practical purposes, this ratio is considered to be 0. So again what we get is omega is equals to the 1 upon root of LC. So in practical physics labs, you will not see this formula. This formula is only limited till our books. This formula is only limited till our books. Now let's discuss about current magnification. I told you in series resonance there is a voltage magnification. At last we had did the concept of voltage magnification, Q factor. Now let us study about current magnification. At resonance, the sum of currents through them is 0. In series resonance, sum of voltage was 0. In series we added both of them. Now we add these of them, and let us consider R to be 0. R is very small, so this will become 0. And finally, if I take this bracket, I know this term is already 0. So basically I will get the same result, the similar result as I got in the resonance case of series. They are not individually 0, but they are out of phase. I can write this as equal to this. Okay. It is called as a rejector circuit because here current is minimum. So basically if I want to create that circuit which rejects the frequency, for example, if instead of FM, in FM I am searching for some frequency, if I get that frequency, oh yes, I can hear the song. But in future, if I want something like I want to reject that frequency, if I am making the knob and I don't want that thing, so those circuits are LCR parallel circuits. So these circuits are also called as rejector circuits. Now Q factor, there Q factor was defined in terms of voltage. Here we will define the Q factor in terms of current. You can take any current. I have taken capacitance by I. So basically you will get the same result which we got there, omega 0 L by R. But there is a different series. Q factor involves the voltage factor. This involves the factor of current, and that particular is eligible for both. That particular definition of Q factor is eligible for both resonant frequency upon bandwidth. Omega 0 L by R is the Q factor for parallel, and let me check if it is the same. I remember it is the same thing. Okay, omega 0 L by R. Let's talk about the experiment. In experiment, this is the circuit, okay, my college circuit, and I have calculated the value of L and R by the formula F is equals to the 1 upon 2 pi root of LC, and I know that frequency is 1592. So I basically have a frequency generator with me. This is called as frequency generator. This is connected in input. Okay, this is the circuit. These three things are connected in parallel, right? This is the parallel connection, and these three are going there. So basically I am starting taking out my values of frequency. See, I change my values in the range of 100. I keep the knob at 1000. I note down the current. I increase the frequency by 1100. I note down the current, and basically see at this particular frequency this current is decreasing constantly, and see at this range the current becomes minimum. It is 100. Earlier it was 120. Then the next frequency it becomes 120 and start increasing. So experimentally 1600 is the resonant frequency. Okay, so this is the graph of this range, and by graph I got the value as 1600, and by formula I got the value as 1592, which is exactly similar within the experimental limits. So these circuits are used in real life as a rejector circuits, as a parallel circuits, and this video was the most important video for the point of view of board exams, university exams, and the mathematical steps which are used in IIT JAM and the other competitive exams. I think this video deserves 1000 likes. Okay, so I give that responsibility to you. So keep sharing until this video gets 1000 likes. See you in the next video. Congratulations, we have completed the video. So yes, you made it. You have completed the concept of LCR circuit. Share this video in all the IIT JAM or BSc Physics groups. See you in the next lecture.